Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. I wanted to talk about the Fantastic Four. That's right. Look at this scenario, guys. Look at these scenes right here. Let me tell you something. I believe that this movie is going to be a hit. Let me tell you why. It's going to be a hit with Gen Xers. It looks to be family-centric, like the original cartoons were. And I'm going to date myself here. When I was growing up, guys, I was growing up abroad, and I was listening and watching the cartoons that came out in 1967. And these are the cartoons that were, spread internationally. They were done in English. Sometimes they would have subtitles. Fortunately for me, I already spoke English, so I was able to understand them. And the themes of those cartoons back in the day, besides all the fantastic stuff that they had, were really about the togetherness of the group and how they were a family. And in today's environment of movies, especially superhero movies, everything's dark, right? Everything's about identity politics, whatever. It's nice to have a movie that I know I can take my grandkids with me, and it's going to be something that everybody can watch, everybody can enjoy. And let me tell you, the way I feel about the Fantastic Four is that they are underrated. In the comic book world, they are underrated. I was surprised, being such a big fan of them. And, I was watching all the 60s Marvel cartoons back in the day. And when it came to the new comic book era, whether it's the 80s and 90s specifically, the Fantastic Four weren't really that hot. They weren't. And to me, they always had a special place in my heart. And I'm glad that the movie is made this way. And let me tell you why, guys. The aesthetics of this movie is going to guarantee that the older population is going to be there. This right here is going to just bring in all the Gen Xers, really. You see this furniture here, guys? When I was, young here in Los Angeles, son of immigrants, my parents used to clean houses, and do odd jobs for rich people here in the Beverly Hills area. And, in the nicer areas of town, they would clean houses, babysit, and what have you. And the aesthetics of many homes were like this. And they would take me, and then I would just sit in front of the TV, right? Because, people were working, whatever. And I would sit there. And then after my mom was able to learn English properly and was able to get a job in retail, then we started having nicer things in the house, and she could get them out of the stores that she worked in because there were electronics or furniture, stuff like that. So we had like a really nice TV for the time. Those were the perks of the jobs for her. And the aesthetics and the style of this movie is a callback for those times. And I'm not the only one watching all this wood, right? I'm not the only one watching all this wood. Getting a Woody, plus having the feel of this movie, have some of those callbacks to those type of movies. To that cartoon, to those times. Look at this car, for example. It's great, man. I mean, it is great. I haven't felt excited for a film for Marvel. I guess Deadpool and Wolverine would be the last one, but I'm really looking forward to this movie here, man. And I'm really happy that there's something out there that I can look forward to this summer, that I can take my grandkids, that I can take my family, and I don't have to worry about anything, That, I think that's pretty cool. But not only that, I'm glad to see the Fantastic Four again in the form that I got to know them as a kid. And I'm telling you guys, I'm not going to be the only one. I'm not going to be the only grandpa out there that's going to look at this and just have instant nostalgia for those times, for the times that we grew up. When we were growing up, back in the 80s, a lot of the newer homes or homes that you would rent, that were probably built in the 60s and 70s. So they already had this type of furniture, of walls, of style of homes, the kitchens. Man, when I was looking at this, man, I was just getting flashback after flashback after flashback, and man, is it great. I got some of these restrictions. I get to look at a screens a little bit more starting today. I get about 2 hours, off and on in 15-minute sections. So, I'm recording this. I watched the trailer, and I just knew I had to talk about it right away because it really tugged at my strings, right? It really tugged at my nostalgic strings, I started thinking about the action figures, that we used to collect back in the day, and the ones that we wanted, the ones that we didn't get back in the day. The thing was so hard to get. The thing was so hard to get, and especially when you're not in the country, outside the U.S., especially in those times, these things were just harder to come by because they were imports, and when you try to get them, they were super expensive, so you could never get the full set. You'd be lucky to get one, right? And Ben was always the hardest one to get. I remember with my friends, I had one friend that had the complete set. This guy was, buku bucks rich, and we were in boarding school, and he happened to invite me to his house, and when I went there, I couldn't believe it. This guy had a drawer set full of action figures, and he had every single one, man. It was incredible. I was blown away. But, overall, guys, man, I'm really happy that I get to see this movie. I'm really happy that I got to see this trailer as one of the only things that I get to see today. I'm going to have to look at some stuff for school. But, man, I hope this movie is as good as it seems. It looks like it's going to be a good movie. It looks like it has good acting. It's going to be, a family-centered story, and of course, Galactus. I mean, can you ask for more? I mean, there's going to be some controversy on the Silver Surfer, apparently, but at this point, I'm willing to give it a pass. I want to see the movie and judge it for myself. But as far as the aesthetics, as far as what I see, for me, it is something definitely I'm going to go see. And before I forget, guys, I want to remind you, I have a Substack now. I'm putting up stories up there. There are all kinds of different stories, whatever comes to mind. Whatever I can do by hitting record and using text-to-speech and doing as much automatic stuff as I can. But I really do want to share my thoughts now that I have, limited screen time. I'm going to be doing a lot of writing this way because I could actually type without looking at anything. I type about, anywhere from 40 to 54 words a minute, depending on the time of day, right? But it's a good exercise for me, a good mental exercise for me. So I'll be putting more stories there that might not necessarily make it to videos. So if you enjoy my content, hey, subscribe here. Subscribe to the Substack, and you'll get, everything that I'm going to be talking about and thinking. All right, guys. I hope you guys had some nostalgia out there too. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.